Give me a thumbs up. You can see it?
Yep.
Terrific. Okay. So today is following up. Last week, what we spoke about was basically the plans you should be making to get through to the end of this calendar year and end it on a high note. Today, we're going to be talking about this financial year. We're only 2 weeks into it. There's still plenty of time left to get a plan in place and to look through what you're doing. So up front, I want to tell you this is a shortened presentation from a program that I actually didn't run this year, but I've run most years, which is a 2-day program on literally doing all the planning you need for a financial year. We do everything from your marketing plans, your social media plans, to your dreaded budget, your sales plans, and cash flow analysis during that time. So this is a much shortened version of something that normally we run through for 2 days. But I mentioned it up front because there's nothing to buy, just information for you to use. Apart from, I think it was Trevor, you all know who I am. No need to really go through it. 30 plus years as a C-suite executive across a dozen different industries in Southeast Asia and here and all sorts of other bits and pieces. Bottom line is you're in good hands. And as always, time is short. There is an elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room is quite simply this. All of us are told when we're kids that we can be anything we want to be. And the truth of the matter is, most of us will not become famous. Most of us won't become rich. And in fact, many of us, especially if we're running businesses ourselves, end up just holding on, which is not necessarily the way we want to be. But in fact, rather than acknowledge that, we say things like, I'm living the dream. Things are fantastic. And we buy into BS like this. Nothing is worth it if you're not happy, or leap and the net will appear, or shoot for the moon. And even if you miss, you'll end up among the stars and suffocate and die. No, or you can get in life what you have the courage to ask for. If you dream it, you can do it. Blah, 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 blah. It's BS, right? You need to be pragmatic about what's happening in your life. We're all adults. We have to pay our way. We have to support the people that we know, care, and love about. We have to meet our obligations. The thing is, that often means we feel trapped. We see all this wonderful stuff they tell us, that Oprah Winfrey tells us. We try it and it doesn't work. And instead, we seem to spend all of our time putting out fires or working really, really hard to push rocks uphill. Let me tell you, planning is not necessarily difficult, but it's not necessarily easy either. We live in a million channel world. We have an awful lot of different things that impact on us and our lives and our loved ones, so we feel scattered. The idea, though, is if we are smart as business people, we'll try and move from being like this to this. We need to get our ducks all lined up in a row. But if you're not doing any planning, if you're not spending any time on planning, you might as well be invisible. And you'll just be like that earlier slide where you're just hanging on by the skin of your fingers instead of doing something ahead. Now, yeah, numbers are part of what you need to plan about. A lot of people spend all their time planning numbers and budgets and whatnot, and other people spend no time at all on it. The truth is you need to spend some time in the middle. But today I'm not talking about doing budgets or anything like that. I'm talking about the other things that you need to do in order to create a plan that's going to work for you this financial year. The way to start is to do this. We've got to look backwards before we can move forwards. So here's a question. In the last financial year, did you experience any of these things? Cash drain? Did you feel overwhelmed? Did you seem to run around fighting fires? Were you tired? Were you stressed? Were you feeling trapped? Were you wearing too many hats? Were you confusing this bit of BS, work-life balance, with work-life integration? If you said yes to any or all of those things, guess what? You're not alone. All of us go through these things at times. They're just part of the challenges of running a business. But what was important to you last financial year? What were you trying to achieve? Were you trying to get more money, upgrade your lifestyle, maybe get some more time with the family, or feel free, or have some more fun? Maybe you spent some time chasing personal growth or enjoying a bit of romance and travel. Maybe you were just trying to see more of the world around you and do a bit more. Maybe last year you tried to make an impact or create a legacy. How did you go? Were you a bit of a Maxwell Smart and missed it by that much, Chief, or what? The thing is, most of us start the year off with grandiose plans, but because we don't do a bit of extra planning or second level planning, we miss out. So if you want to make this year much better than last year in terms of financial year anyway, the first thing you need to do is a quick review. List down all the things in your business and your personal life and your professional life that went well. And then do another list of all the things that didn't go so well, all the things you want to stop doing. Maybe you got caught up in doing some social media planning and posting, and you were posting 3 times a day on Instagram, and you did that for 6 months and you're burned out and tired. And guess what? You didn't make any money from it. That's firmly in the stop list. Think about what went well last year, what did not go so well, and what things you need to stop doing. Because if you're continuing to do things that aren't working for you, you're burning energy and headspace when you could be spending them on other things. So you should really be thinking about rating last year. Was it a great one? Or was it one where, quite frankly, you're maybe thinking about warm baths and razor blades? I mean, you could do an in-depth review of your business. And this is something that I do with my clients. Jay's seen this more than him. And you look at things like, what were you most proud of last year? What were your biggest challenges to it? Did you add or subtract staff, including VAs? Did you have a budget for sales, profit, and services? Did you make your sales budget? Did you make your profit budget, etc.? You can get very detailed, and that depends on you and your approach to business and your headset. I do this, and I get my clients to do this because I believe the more detail you understand about what happened in the past, the better you're able to avoid any downturn and mistakes in the future. But of course, you can also do my favorite, which is a GBU. You can look at last year and go, well, what was good? What was bad? What was downright ugly about last year? And again, just write a simple thing down and go, what was the good things? We want to do more of them. What was bad? What are the things I'm going to learn from? Not necessarily stop doing, but maybe approach differently. And what were the ugly things? The things that I'm never, ever going to do with them. So when you've reviewed last year, whether you do it in detail or whether you just do a GBU or you just do a what worked and what didn't work, doesn't matter, but you must look at last year before you can plan this year. But when you've done that, you've got to decide what's important to you this financial year. Now, maybe it's all those things we spoke about before, more time with family, creating an impact, creating a legacy, seeing more, doing whatever it is. Maybe it's none of those things. The bottom line is you have to make a decision. You can either stay as you are and accept drifting, or you can get up, you can saddle up, and you can start doing something about it. At the end of the day, there's really only 3 options that we all have as business people and as human beings. We can hold on, same level of impact, same level of energy put in, and do nothing differently. We can work harder, consciously put more time and energy into stuff, but really not change much. Or we can take action and change the way we approach things and work from a real plan. They're your 3 options that you've got. You can hold on and hope nothing and do nothing different. You can work harder and hope for a change, or you can take action and make some change. So which door did you choose? Did you choose to be a cellar dweller, which is do nothing different? Were you a hoper, where you hope that the universe is going to hear you and give you lots of money and stuff? Or did you actually decide to take action? Because if you chose to take action, guess what? You're a rarity. Most people are brought undone by comfort, convenience, and what they're used to. They keep doing the same things because it feels secure. It's the people that stand out, and the people who really become successful in business and in their life are the ones who walk a solitary path. They're the ones who do what other people are unable to, or quite frankly, are unwilling to do. So here's a question for you. What are you going to do differently this financial year from last financial year? I urge you to keep it simple, but be very clear. What is it that you want on a personal level? Remember, the way I work with clients is we look at your personal and professional goals for 12 months and 3 years, and then we look at your business and make sure your business is able to come underneath and support the personal and professional goals that you've chosen. They don't exist separately. Both things, your business and personal life, exist together. But too many people build their personal life around their business instead of their business being built around their personal life. Your business should be there to support your personal and professional goals. So what do you want personally, professionally, and business? You look at these things. Life balance, again, there's not really such a thing as life balance. There's just life and where you choose to put your energies at any particular time. But what things do you want in your life? Do you want money? Do you want more date nights? Do you want more holidays? Do you want to go to more shows or join events? Do you want to travel and have adventures? Do you want more toys? Do you want more cars? It doesn't matter. I'm not you, but you need to decide what it is that you want. But something that's very different from want is, what do you need? And the best way to understand what do you need in your life is to answer this question: how much is enough? You all hear me say this time and time again, but look at it this way: how much is enough money? How much is enough time working per week or days per month? How much is enough impact in the world that you want to have? Vacation, how much is enough? A month, 6 weeks a year, several months, 3 months a year? Date nights, how much is enough? 2 a month, 2 a quarter? I don't know. In your personal development, when we've learned enough in business or outside, professionally or personally, what else do you want more of? Travel? Do you want to read more good books? Do you want to go to more concerts? Do you want to buy rare jewelry or collect unbelievably rare stamps? I don't know. But you should be clear on how much is enough, not just in terms of money, but remember, money equals choice. So you've got to get that sorted first. But how much is enough across the various aspects of your life? Because we're all more than just one thing. Remember, this action changes things. So the way to look at that is, once you understand how much is enough, make a priority list. What's the priorities that I face in my life, personally, professionally, in my business? Make a list. When do I want these things to happen by? And then how am I going to make them happen? But again, I would suggest that you focus firstly on generating revenue into your business. Profit's great, but cash flow is the thing that keeps businesses alive. So I've seen lots of businesses that on paper are incredibly profitable, and they go to receivers because their cash flow is dead and they can't pay their bills. So revenue is the key indicator of you having a successful business and life. So no matter what your priority list is, I would urge you make number one the generation of revenue into your business, and then look how things fall out from that. So from that point of view, how are you going to generate revenue? What are you going to sell? Right? How often do you want to sell it? Who are you going to sell it to? And where are you going to sell it? Online, offline, at events, at trade shows? What are you going to do? But be very, very clear on how you're going to generate your revenue and what it is you're selling, how often to sell it, and who to. They're the key things. And hey, look, if you're feeling overwhelmed, then drag out my famous to-do list and go through and write down all the things that you do in your business. Separate out the things that you love to do because you want to keep doing them. Separate the things that you hate out of that and see how many of those are things that only you can do, because you'll have to keep hold of them till you can give them to someone else. And the rest of the stuff, you either get rid of it or you delegate it, and put yourself down a time. When are you going to get rid of these things? You're feeling disorganized? Well, there's another list, another thing you can do. It's called a recurring task list, and it's really quite simple. What things do you do and have to do on a daily basis, a fortnightly, a monthly, a quarterly basis, etc., or even a weekly basis? Add that in there if you like. But these are the things that you have to do over and over again. And when you look at those, you go, how many of these things are still serving my business? Do I need to be doing them as often as I'm doing them? Do I need to be doing them at all? Or are these things I can shunt off to a VA or something like that? But if you have things that you have to do more than once in your business, it's a recurring task. You need to capture all these and figure out the best way to automate, delegate, or eliminate them to free up headspace. You need to make sense of it all. Well, you can always do stuff like this. Break your business down, your personal life down, and go, right, revenue, what's the outcome I want and what action am I going to take to get it? Profit, how much do I want? What's the action I'll take to get it? Customer retention, etc., etc. My health, what's the outcome I want? I want to do the Bay Run next year. So what am I going to be doing to get that? I'm going to be following the Couch the 5K training protocol, whatever it happens to be. Just remember, in the movie of your life, you're the director. And that's probably the most important point I can give to you. In the movie of your life, you're the director. No one else is. You decide how you respond or react to what's happening in the world or to you, but you're the director. So think about it this way. What things do you have to do yourself? What things can you accelerate? By accelerate, I mean use tools like AI. And what things can you delegate to get rid of? Because quite frankly, now is the perfect time to draw a line in the sand for this coming financial year, the one we're 2 weeks into. The time's going to pass anyway. So you might as well decide, I'm going to take some action. And if you're going to take action, at least consider this. Decide what it is that you want for 26-27 financial year in terms of personally, professionally, and your business. Review last financial year. What was good? What was bad? What was ugly? What worked? What didn't work? Understand for you how much is enough personally, professionally, and in your business. Do a good, bad, ugly review if that's your preferred one. Certainly review your business. Review your priorities and create a new list of priorities, again, in those three areas: personally, professionally, and in your business. Decide how you're going to generate revenue and where you're going to generate it from. Decide whether you're going to do everything yourself or you're going to be smart and trying to automate, eliminate, and delegate some of it. And use a recurring task list to identify all the things that your business needs to be done more than once. The key thing is you have to take action if this year is going to be better than last year. If you'd like a hand, help, as always, is available. If you want to have a chat, I don't sell you anything. I just try and help you out. I'll put the link back into the chat. Have we got any questions for me?
Thanks very much for that, Geoff.
Someone who just dropped off. I love that sound at the end of a presentation.
There we go. Okay.